Hi guys, today we're going to talk about my advanced training program. I feel like this is one of my most underrated training programs, and I think a lot of people shy away from it because it kind of looks complicated. So for example, guys see formula I have for dips and they tell me that it looks like we're calculating speed of light or something, and they just skip it over. But it's very unfortunate because I personally made more progress with this training program than with all other training programs presented in my book combined. And that's why I decided to make a short video to explain to you guys how the program works and to show you that it's really not that complicated. To make this discussion a little more simple, we're going to talk about an abbreviated version of this training program. And this training program prescribes 3 training sessions a week scheduled on non-consecutive days. And we will be alternating 2 exercise complexes. So the first one is bench press and squat that I made blue here, and the second one is standing barbell press and deadlift that is assigned green color. The most important element of this training program is a 2-week microcycle that contains undulating variational loading within it. The first training session of the week is going to be heavy day, which means that it's high intensity, low volume day. The second training session of the week is going to be moderate day, which means that it's moderate intensity, moderate volume day. And the third training session of the week is going to be a light day, which means that it's low intensity, high volume day. On the heavy day, you're going to be performing 5 sets of 2 reps in all exercises. And the weight that you're using in an exercise on that training session is going to be assigned as 100% for that particular microcycle. So once again, 100% here is not your 1 repetition maximum. It's the weight that you lifted for 5 sets of 2 reps on the heavy day of the week. Now, on the second training session of the week, you're going to be performing 5 sets of 4 reps. And the weight that you're going to be using here is going to be 90% of the weight that you use in these particular exercises on the previous heavy day. So for these exercises here, that would be a Monday of the previous week. Now, on the third training session of the week, you're going to be performing 5 sets of 6 reps in all exercises. And the weight that you're going to be using here is going to be 80% of the weight that you used on the previous heavy day. Now let's see how things would play out for a particular exercise. And we're going to use bench press for illustration. Now, since this is an advanced training program, I'm sure I don't have to tell you guys that a little bit of prep work will be needed before you can dive into this cycle. Because obviously nobody should start their training with heavy sets of doubles. And let's say that I did all that, and for my first heavy training session in bench press, I assigned 405 pounds and I was able to successfully complete it for 5 sets of 2 reps. Now, the following time I'm doing bench press is going to be on Friday. And Fridays are our light days, which means that I'm going to be using the weight that is 80% of the weight that I used on the previous heavy day. So 80% of 405 is going to be 324. And I'm going to be lifting that weight for 5 sets of 6 reps. Now the next time I'm performing bench press is going to be a Wednesday of the following week. And Wednesdays are moderate days, which means that I'm going to be using the weight that is 90% of the weight that I lifted for the same exercise on the previous heavy day. So 90% of 405 equals 364.5, and I'm going to be lifting that weight for 5 sets of 4 reps. If 405 felt pretty comfortable for 5 sets of 2 reps, maybe I can move up to 415 for the heavy day of the 3rd week. And then I would have to recalculate my light and moderate days while using 415 as my new 100% for that microcycle. And let's say 415 gave me a little more trouble. So next time, maybe I should move up only by 5 pounds, which would bring me to 420 for the heavy day of the week number 5. And then once again, I will calculate 80 and 90% while using 420 as my new 100%. As you can see, after our heavy training session here, we have a light training session scheduled to allow our body to recover. After which, we have a moderate training session scheduled to get ourselves ready for battle once again. And on we go. Now let's see what things look like during the week. So on Wednesday, you might still have some of the residual fatigue from the previous heavy training session on Monday. But that's okay, since on Wednesday we are handling moderate loads. Now most of that fatigue should be gone by Friday, and since Friday is a light day anyway, by the time following Monday comes around, we should be fully recovered and ready for war. The loads assigned for the Wednesdays and Fridays are going to be pretty comfortable for the prescribed number of reps. But that doesn't mean that you get to relax. Instead, you should focus on performing all these exercises with the perfect technique, and also make sure that the concentric contraction is as explosive as possible on every rep, because that can really prime your central nervous system for handling maximum loads during the following heavy day. Now, if despite all your efforts, you feel like the speed is consistently getting slower, that just means that maybe you're starting to fry your central nervous system a little bit, and the time for deload is coming soon. If you feel that you are doing your best with your diet and also getting enough rest, and still continuously getting stuck prematurely while using this training program, some modification could be considered. And the first modification would be to perform 3 sets instead of 5 in all the exercises. So 3 sets of 2, 3 sets of 4, and 3 sets of 6. The second modification that you could consider would be to adjust the percentages for your moderate and light days. So instead of 90%, you could use 87.5%. And on a light day, instead of 80%, you could use 75%. Just don't start modifying everything right away because you feel compelled to individualize this training program. It took me a very long time to come up with these exact numbers. And once I figured them out, I was able to make progress with this program for 6 months non-stop. The only thing was that for the first 3 months I used the original version of this program that contains dips and bend over rows. And then once the weights became kind of heavy, I felt like the 3 exercises in one training session was just too much, and that's how the abbreviated version of this program was born. If all that math bothers you, you could use my app Big and Strong to help you with calculations. Let me show you how it works. As you can see, the app calculates percentages for you, including for dips, according to the formula I mentioned earlier. So that's the catch, right? I'm obviously trying to sell you my app. Not really. I think I showed you guys very clearly that the math here is very, very basic. And as a matter of fact, once you start using this training program, you will see that there is really nothing complicated about it. The name of the program is Advanced Training Program, but it's also appropriate for the late intermediates. But if on the other hand you are a very advanced athlete, the way this program is written here might no longer be appropriate for you. Because if you are handling very heavy loads, alternating heavy doubles in squats and deadlift from week to week might no longer be possible, and things would have to be adjusted further. But otherwise, this is the whole program. And of course, if anything was unclear, you guys know where to find me. So thank you for stopping by, and I'll see you next time.